Hello, everyone, and welcome to CASCAR. We are here with the Black Designs Cup Series, where we're at Darlington. I mean, we have been waiting for this race the entire time on this schedule. It is going to be an exciting night ahead of us here at the Too Tough to Tame 1.33 mile, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 338. Should have checked that before. Egg-shaped oval. I mean, I am so excited to see what these guys are going to be able to do. I'm already seeing a huge difference in terms of qualifying board right now. Hello, Marshall. Good to see you. You're going to be sitting out for Darlington. I understand it is a difficult track to drive and get right. And I think a lot of our usual guys that we see up in the top of the field currently as we're in the rounding out stages of practice are not there. David Gibbs, hello and welcome. Good to see you. I am excited to see what all you guys think of the impressive thing we have going on here tonight. I'm excited to see what you all think of our new overlay set we got courtesy of Pierce Graphics. So let's go ahead and bring that up now as we round out practice. So obviously it doesn't look too different for the moment here. Let's go ahead and bring us into the mode that we're going to be seeing all throughout the night so far. That's right, we have a 3x4 screen here tonight. I mean, I'm excited to see. It's just different with a bit of grain there and everything else. So I think it's going to make this race just feel a little bit more special, as is our throwback race. All right, so with the qualifying just ending there, we're going to go ahead and follow along our top position. That was Hunter Peach, who topped out in practice, something we have not seen him do for quite a long time, be really competitive up in the top field. So it's good to see him able to do so well again. So when he brings up in our time machine, we'll go ahead and follow along with him. And in the meantime, I'll be right back. All right, I am back, and we're still waiting on Hunter there to get back into the session, but that's okay. See, Kyle's here too. Let's see. Just hoping no playoff drivers finish the race. Yeah, this is actually the round of 8, which is going to make this thing very interesting. So currently, your standings are Stephen Black continues to lead here in the CASCAR Black Designs Cup Series, with Michael Jennings still hot on his tail, running in the second place spot. Brian Fredienne brings up third position with Jeffrey Belk right behind him. And then Kyle Mundell, good to see you, Kyle, running in your top 8 as well. Brandon Fiedler is there, as well as your final 2 of 7 and 8 of Paul Ems and Greg Snellgrove. This is definitely something we're going to have to watch here tonight to see how they are going to be able to get on and do whatever they can just to really knock each other out of the playoffs. I mean, it's such a tight competition here. And this season is going to be going down absolutely to the wire. Yes, Dave, I did put this shirt on specifically for the throwback as well, even if it's not too, old. It's fine. All right, well, Hunter is running for the moment. He topped out your practice session. Let's go and bring him up and see how he's going to be running here at Darlington. Let's go and bring up our classic mode there so we can go ahead and take a look at that wonderful overlay. I mean, look at that. Looks so cool. So with this being the throwback race, everyone's going to be driving a different paint than what they usually run. You can see that the 84 here of Hunter Peach is running in a Dale Jr. throwback. All right, across the line here, and he finishes, for the moment, first place. There he goes. Yeah, he topped out in practice as well. I mean, Hunter just has this track down. I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe this track is one of those resonating tracks. So we're going to have to make sure that we bring him up a little bit later on as well and see how he does. All right, across the line there once again. I mean, you got to remember just how difficult this track is to drive. And there he is. That finishes with a gap of 1.42 seconds. So just so you know, it is going to be a little bit more difficult to for you guys to get your visual information during this race, just because here, well, this is based on an 80s throwback. They didn't have constant information up on the screen. A lot of the time, it really was just running out the wire. And I think that is definitely going to make this a lot more interesting. So, with that out of the way, looks like we still have Steven Black and Sylvan Seguin yet to qualify. But it looks like they're not running for the moment. So let's go ahead and bring up Hunter for the moment. I want to see how he does during an interview here. We don't usually get to interview Hunter. Hunter, it's open the booth. Do you read me? Hunter, it's open the booth. Do you read me?
So I gotcha.
There we go. All right. Well, you just got yourself a pole position here at the Lady in Black. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I mean, I'm glad to see that you're doing so well. We don't usually see you here running at the, at the top of the line all the time. So, what's different about this race?
Uh, Nothing really. I honestly like Darlington. I feel like the grip level was a little bit higher than what I was used to practicing lately. So I just ran out there and just did my own line and somehow just got the pole. But I'm honestly shocked.
Is this one of those like driver track like resonating combos where you just end up on the track and it just clicks? Like there's just something different about this track.
I feel like there is because I feel like it's a little bit harder to pass, but I feel like it's kind of like Atlanta. I know I'm pretty good at Atlanta. And I feel like it's kind of very similar to the way you get loose and the way it drives. But this place is a little bit harder than that. But I don't know how long I'll last up here. I can try to be consistent with it. But yeah, I just find it very similar to Atlanta in my opinion.
Okay. Honestly, that is a different approach. I don't usually hear drivers trying to take the Atlanta approach to a track like Darlington.
Yeah. I just find it just because of the way how it loose and the way the tires and all that, just the way the track changes.
Well, that makes sense to me, but still, congratulations on getting yourself a pole position. How do you think this race is going to turn out? I mean, the closest guy you have behind you is over zero point 0.1 seconds back.
I think it'll be interesting, but I'm really nervous about turn two, how everybody's going to approach that, and especially going to one for the first time.
No, I totally understand. I mean, the different turning radius of each corner makes them a lot more difficult. Which end would you say is the better for you, the tighter end or the wider?
Two.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. I usually hear people saying that the tighter is a bit better for them. So
Yeah, 3 and 4 is typically usually my worst.
maybe I think I'm sensing a pattern here. If you can master the first two turns, then perhaps it's a bit better than 3 and 4. But hey, I guess your line works no matter what it is. So we're definitely gonna have to see you on the first start and any restarts we get. All right, well, I'm going to let you go now. I can tell by the sound of your voice you're a little bit, I don't know if it's nervous or what it is.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous right now because I just don't know how turn one's going to work. If I don't clear them, then it's just, I just don't want to miss my apex. I know if you don't hit it right, then it's never going to end good. Never a good passing zone either.
No,
3 and 4 typically is.
I totally understand. It's okay. So I'll let you go there. Is there anything you want to say to our audience before I let you go?
I hope y'all enjoyed today's race, and it should be a good one. Just hoping for not a wreck fest. I would love to see some strategies on green flag, but hope y'all enjoy it.
All right, Hunter. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, and good luck.
Yep, you too.
All right, that was Hunter P to top the qualifying board by over 0.1 seconds. I mean, that's honestly super impressive. We got a little bit of time left in qualifying here before we go back. Let's see who else we can bring up so far. It just makes me not sure because like Darlington is just such a different track. Let's see. You know what? I think this is a great time for Tyler Hallahan to come up in the booth. So let's go ahead and bring him up as he usually has a fantastic paint scheme, especially for these throwback style races. Let's go ahead and bring him up. Tyler, it's open the booth. Do you read me?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing right now? I mean, you currently qualified in 8th position with your 88 Chevrolet.
Yeah, I feel pretty decent. I usually don't qualify too well. I find it takes me about between 5 to 10 laps to actually get going. I need some heat in the tires, and then I slowly start picking up some speed. But I'm just gonna run my own race. I didn't make the second round of the playoffs since myself and Greg we tied, and he ended up getting the tiebreaker by the regular season points by 3 points. But no hard feelings there. That's just good hard racing, and my mistake at Nashville I think took me out of that. So we just moved on, and we're on the Darlington, and I just want to try to race and get as many points as I can for my team.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys were putting up a fantastic battle there for the final playoff position going into the round of 8. So it was good to see a good hard battle going into it. But part of the reason I brought you up here tonight was not just because of the good performance that you've put on all season so far. It's about your paint scheme here tonight and the message it means to you.
Yeah, this paint scheme was actually a scheme that my grandfather ran back in the 60s, 70s when he moved down here to Nova Scotia. So it's I'm actually running it on my real life race car, and with today being Father's Day and all, I just wanted to do a throwback to him, and hopefully I can put on a good show.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I think that there's probably not a better way to, celebrate one's, legacy and what they mean to you by running a really good throwback and hopefully putting on a great race here at Darlington.
Yeah, 100% right, buddy.
All right, well, we're about to end our qualifying session, and it looks like our final drivers have not decided to qualify. So is there anything you want to say to our audience before I let you go, Tyler?
Just thanks everyone for watching. Thank my teammates, and happy Father's Day to all the father figures out there.
All right, Tyler, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that was the number 88 of Tyler Hallahan in his Chevrolet Camaro. We're going to make sure we follow along with him. He's got a special hugger scheme to celebrate his father. And yes, as he said, happy Father's Day. I mean, yeah, that's a different one. We don't usually race on too many holidays except for just a couple. So we got one tonight. And that is definitely going to be different. So let's go ahead and bring that up. So, all right. Now, before all of our drivers head into the grid... Oh, never mind. Here they go. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and head on in to our finishing our qualifying and going to the grid. All right. Let's go ahead and zoom out just so you can get a good look of our fantastic field of drivers here tonight. Got a good field, about 15 drivers. I'm excited to see what all of them are going to be able to do. Okay, let's go ahead and bring up our classic mode. There we go. And let's bring up our grid. So starting on pole position. Okay, don't know what's going on with that. There we go. Starting on pole position in the inside row, that's Hunter Peach. On his outside, that is going to be Brandon Fiedler. Then in the second row, inside lane, that's Paul Ems with Greg Snellgrove bringing up 4th position. You can see that Paul there is running a Tony Stewart throwback. Then row 3, that is going to be Jeffrey Belk there on the inside with his number 55 Napa-inspired throwback for the NASCAR geek. Great scheme, honestly. And then that is going to be a Bobby Allison throwback there for Brian Fradian. Row number 4, inside lane, that's Mark LaPierre there in the number 8 Good Wrench. Then on his outside, that's number 88 Hugger scheme for Tyler Hallahan. 5th row, inside lane, we got the number 85 of Matthew Malavagna, who specifically chose that Dale Earnhardt paint here tonight because it's the 20th anniversary of when he was able to win the Daytona 500, if I'm not mistaken from what he told me. He wanted to really celebrate that, and, he chose to celebrate the man in black at the lady in black. So, honestly, that's a great paint scheme and a really good message for Matthew to choose there. And on his outside, that's going to be number 44 of Patrick Coluccio, the person that holds up the Sports Fanatic podcast, which you can go check out. That is our race sponsor here tonight. You should go check them out over on, I believe they're also on Spotify, Apple Music, and a couple other places. We'll bring them up a little bit later on so that we can get a good feel of that. Nice for the badge, Jesse. Glad to see you have it. All right. Now we have on road number 6, inside lane. That's going to be the 86 of Michael Jennings there. Now his outside is going to be the 66 of Sylvan Seguin. Row 7 is going to be Brady Floyd. Then Stephen Black and Marshall Harris missed the start. All right, that has been your grid here tonight. I mean, I am just excited to see what everything is going to do. I mean, this is a really tough track to do as they go down the Boeing backstretch into turns 3 and 4 here with the CASCAR Black Designs Cup Series. Our fantastic overlay is brought to you by Pierce Graphics, and I want to give them a big thank you for being able to give us a fantastic, overlooking overlay. All right, now as we leave turn number 4, the pace truck is off. We head down the front stretch here at Darlington with the CASCAR Black Designs Cup Series. Nope, that's not the right one. Green flag, and away we go here at Darlington. Oh man, Patrick Lucio off not to a good start, that's for sure. And it looks like Matthew Mulva. What is going on with my points? Okay. Brandon Fiedler off to a fantastic start, able to jump right by Hunter Peach, who lost the lead in the first 2 turns as they head down the Boeing backstretch into turn number 3. Paul M is hot on the heels with his Tony Stewart throwback, trying to do whatever he can to get to Hunter. Paul had been struggling over in practice, spitting out lots on leaving turn number 2. I want to see what he's going to be able to do. Jeffrey Belk is a man that is not a fan of this track. I can't wait to see his reactions later on throughout this race, trying to get around these tough turns. There we go. Nope, that. Well, you can see that Brandon Fiedler is leaving. There we go. So with Fiedler leading and Peach not far behind, I'm excited, to really see what everyone's going to be able to do, just to be competitive. It's not often that we see these, racetracks where it's only single file, and then in that single file, it must be top lane, and in that top lane, you got to hope you don't hit the wall. You can say Homestead, but even that, you can run the bottom. At Darlington, you just can't. So it's taking the right line and able to dominate with that line that's going to allow you to get the win here. Able to zoom out just a little late. You can see Hunter Peach, they're doing whatever he can to try to catch up, but it looks like Paul Ems is struggling just a little bit, falling a tiny bit back, and that's giving Jeffrey Belk a chance to try to catch up, and he's getting there. Down the backstretch they go. That's your top 4 all bunched up right now, trying whatever they can to get through. You can see just how close they have to get to the wall there, leaving turn number 4. I see that. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. We'll have to bring that back. Thank you to Sports Fanatics once again for giving us a fantastic throwback race weekend here on Father's Day. Honestly, great time for it. All right. Hunter Peach has now been able to get by as it looks like Fiedler is struggling for power. He's on the outside. That's giving Paul Ems a chance to get caught up. He moves to the inside. I don't think he's going to be able to make it, though. Nope, he wasn't able to through that turn, but that is giving Hunter Peach a chance to run away with this thing. Now going into turn number 1, he's leading. You can definitely tell that Fiedler is having some struggles there. His car is just running a little bit slower than it should, as is Paul Ems. I mean, these guys are just struggling right now to try to get around these turns. A little bit further back, we right now see Brian Fratienne there in his Victos number 81, trying to hold off Greg Snellgrove. Marco LaPierre a little bit further back as well, his number 8 program. There's Malavanya, currently getting chased down by Tyler, but he's able to put some pressure onto Mark as he closes that gap any way he can. Whoa, big wave we just saw there, leaving turn number 2 there out of the 84 of Hunter Peach. Not something we see often. He's got to make sure that he holds that under control so that it doesn't give him any issues later on. Going through the turns once again, I mean, these banks, if you look back at the history of Darlington, their original plan was to have the very high side at a higher bank angle so that drivers would have it as an escape route, essentially. But then the problem is that all the drivers figured out that that line was the fastest, being able to have the higher banking, and they just took it. And it led to some pretty big accidents, so they had to revamp the course, and it allowed it to be the racetrack that we get now. This weird egg shape that was also formed because of a minnow pond, not just too far south, if I'm not mistaken. Very weird history, this track. That is for sure. Oh, slamming the wall there at a number 39 of Brandon Fiedler. That has slowed him way down, and that completely killed his momentum as Paul M shoots by the inside with his Tony Stewart throwback to get through. Down through the front stretch they go. You can see just how much that damage is already affecting Brandon, not being able to catch up. Now the teammate of Brandon, Jeffrey Belk, is going to be right on him. Is that going to give him a chance to get through? Fradian under pressure from Snellgrove once again. They got to keep an eye on that as they're continuing to battle. One person that fell behind was Marc LaPierre, and that has allowed Matthew Malvania to jump up into 7th place and Michael Jennings up into 8th. All right, we're on lap number 11 of 110 here at the Sports Fanatics Throwback Race here on the CASCAR Black Designs Cup Series. Paul Ems maintains a 2nd place position, holding off Jeffrey Belk, who is able to get by his damaged teammate of Brandon Fiedler. Keeping it off the wall is going to be the goal for tonight's race. Continue to run down through these turns. I mean, this is what happens when you get all spread out like this. There's just not too much going on. That's part of the problem with the new package that we're seeing here on iRacing.com Motor Simulations is you just get spread out at some of these tracks just due to the package, and these cars are struggling. Round turns 3 and 4, they go down the front stretch there. You can see just how difficult that pit entry is going to be when they have to come in for fuel and for Goodyear tires. I think another paint that we saw in there a little bit early on had to be Patrick Coluccio's there. He's throwing a Terry Labonte throwback there. That's going to be the number 44 Kellogg's machine. I believe he's, if I'm not mistaken, it was a 2004 throwback to a 90s scheme. So it's a throwback to a throwback. Good work, Patrick. Still looks great, though. And thank you to Patrick for allowing the Sports Fanatics podcast to sponsor tonight's race. Hunter Peach just has this track down. He just knows it inside and out, back and forward, as he extends his lead almost all the way up to a 2nd. I mean, he is absolutely gapping Paul Ems right now, who's running in 2nd place. Your field really hasn't changed too much since we've really started in going through these battles. One driver that's been able to cut up through the field there, that's Brady Floyd in his Tony Stewart throwback. Although you can see a little bit of a difference there between him and Paul, as he has a bit more of an accurate Stewart Haas, even though Tony Stewart at the time would be running a Chevrolet, as Paul has. But he also has the number 20 there with Brady. So that does make this game just a little bit more accurate. In any case, still, he's been able to cut through the field, got himself a bit better position after starting towards the rear. See the difference there between him and Paul's. They're very similar, but still both look really good. All right, so I want to, I got to give another big thank you there to Pierce Graphics, who's been able to, provide us this fantastic overlay, allowing us to change our aspect ratio down to 3:4 instead of 16:9, on, finding a really good font that works up there, and, making a really great thing. It's just awesome, and all the overlays here that you've seen on CASCAR and also here on Forklift since, for a very long time now, since even before the Frankenstein Metalworks Cup Series are all done by Pierce Graphics, so make sure you go give them a huge check out over on Instagram and where else you can find Chris, so you can get your overlays today. Alright, so now we can look a little bit more into the information there. As you can see, the damage number 66 of Sylvan Seguin is now going to be a lap down as Hunter Peach moves by. That's the first car a lap down. Bring up the driver info here. See, that's Hunter Peach up in 1st place. I mean, a pole position by almost, over 0.1 of a second. Like, that's cool. That's not stuff you often see. Not really sure what it's doing now. Okay. Bit of a slide there we just saw out of Belk there. It looks like his right rear just skimmed the corner as they came off of 4. That is impressive that he's been able to, off of 2, my apologies, that he's been able to hold it together. I mean, these cars are just a handful here, especially now as we're going to be entering, lap number 20 very shortly. We're on lap 19 right now, heading down the backstretch, now through turns 3 and 4. That's 20, 110. All your drivers really spaced out here so far, and I want to thank everyone that has come out to our race so far. I appreciate it for sure, as the gap now has increased to almost 3 seconds between Hunter and Paul. Although, That is going to be the lap car of Zildjian Seguin, and once again, getting in the way just a little bit there as Jeffrey Belk has to move by. Brian Fradian, the number 81 Victos machine, currently under just a wee bit of pressure there from Greg Snellgrove and Brandon Fiedler. Once again, a big happy Father's Day to all of our, father figures out there. It's a very important message to give out. Gotta all appreciate our fathers out there. Greg Snellgrove there, holding off Brandon Fiedler the best he can. Although Brandon does have damage and is going to be making things a bit more difficult. Brian, though, has to be concerned now, as Greg is going to be chasing him down. Looks like Michael Jennings has lost a couple of positions there. He's fallen just a little bit further, but another driver that's fallen really far back. That's got to be Matthew Maldana. I wonder if he hit the wall or some other issue. Oh, looks like internet connection there. That's going to be a problem. No damage on those cars really to speak of, and nobody has come in for pits either. So that is going to be making this race continually more interesting as the night goes forward. I believe pretty soon we are going to be running under the lights here at Darlington as time goes forward. As Paul Ems holds off Jeffrey Bell going down the front stretch. This has been your race so far. Only 13 drivers able to make it into tonight's race here in our playoff race. Right now, this is giving Hunter Peach a really good chance to mess with our playoff drivers. Getting a win out of the way is going to make things hard. And your current best playoff driver, that has to be Paul Ems. Running in 7th place right now, he's got to be really worried about these positions coming up here for this week and in 2 weeks' time race. I believe that's going to be Auto Club that's next on our schedule. He's got to be careful of what happens next. I mean, this is his, make or break moment. If he gets a 2nd place here or even is able to somehow come back and win this race, he's got himself almost a lock into the final 4. Slam of the wall there. We just saw once again there out of the number 55 with Jeffrey Belk. Belk is another guy that we need to watch here in our playoffs. He's currently running in 4th. So he currently has a pretty good shot to continue here with the championship. Brian Fradian is currently running in 3rd, and a 4th place spot right now is not too bad. So hopefully continue up with a great season so far. I mean, these guys, especially at Equipment Geek Racing, have done an amazing job at keeping their entire season together and are currently, I believe, only 4 points behind in our team championship. Let me go ahead and take a look at that. The gap between Equipment Geek Racing and the Great White North is so small that it's honestly impressive. All right, Equipment Geek Racing leads by 5 points over Great White North Motorsports. I mean, that is just such a small gap, and they've done a great job able to hold them off, especially from the dominant force that we've seen out of, the Great White North. I mean, these guys have attended almost every single race, every single driver. It has made this for a very fascinating final couple of races here in the CASCAR Black Designs Cup Series. All right, Hunter Peach continues to extend his lead across Paul Ems up to 4.4 seconds. I don't know how he's able to do it. I mean, that is just so impressive that he's been able to hold him off just so well. That's a lot of speed that we're seeing out of Hunter's car. And Paul has been doing a good job here of keeping Jeff behind him. He's not letting Jeffrey Bell through, but he's not giving him any chances to catch up either. Paul was struggling in practice, but he's been able to deliver so far. It's impressive. Especially at a track like this where consistency ends up being key, it's good to see. Now, one other final difference that you can tell here with the CASCAR Black Designs Cup Series is that? Okay. I mean, it's a required thing to put a playoffs banner on your vehicle so you can see who is running in the playoffs and who is not. You can see there on Paul's vehicle as he is in the playoffs. He's got it. You can actually go run through a check with that right now just to mess with a couple of them. That was a issue that we saw last week at Watkins Glen. I believe 2 drivers did not have a playoff banner installed, which did dock them points in the championship. Let's see who's... Yep, it looks like Freddie has it on. I thought he didn't because I saw from the angle the Toyota logo instead of just the standard one, so I didn't have it. Does Greg have it? Greg does not. Greg is 8th in the points and does not have a logo for the playoffs on his vehicle. This is going to cause problems for him a little bit later in this race. It looks like Brandon Fiedler has also got his updated, as well as he now is coming down into pit road to go ahead and go pit. I believe this is the time we're going to be seeing a lot more of that. And I think he might be trying to pull a bit of an undercut too. He's probably going to take his fast repair now as he rolls down the front stretch pit lane. Hunter Peach, though, has not come into pit. He is currently your leader by 6 seconds. He has a 6-second gap between him and Paul Ems. I mean, that is just ridiculously impressive. How he's been able to do it, I'm not sure. But he just has this line down. He just understands his track. It's like he can see the air or something. It's just different. And honestly, it is impressive to see this kind of dominant performance out of Hunter Peach. We have not seen him run away with a race like this before. And I think this is something to absolutely be proud of. He was able to get back after a short scuffle with, I believe it was Brian Fradian, in the first turn to get himself back up into the lead. What a show. What a show. Paul Ems has also done a great job at holding up Jeffrey Belk, but able to maintain his second place spot. He's been able to really hold it. Another thing that we've not seen out of Paul too much this season. He's been struggling to really keep it, under control. He gets the pressure just gets to him, and it's been rough for him. But right now, Paul is absolutely dominating, and he's been doing a great job. If you want to find out more information on CASCAR, make sure you check out www.cascar.net. That is the website for CASCAR, and you should definitely go check that out so you can get more information on not only when races are or the upcoming races, but what's coming up in the future as well. Brady Floyd has come now from a very far position back all the way up into 4th place. What an impressive show out of Brady Floyd. A bit of a skim of the wall that we just missed right there. However, he can tell that he has a little bit of damage from that. Still, he's been able to drive that number 20 all the way up to 4th position. That is impressive, and it looks like pit cycles are really starting to pull on just a little bit more now. As Hunter Peach comes down pit road, that's going to put Paul Ems into the lead. And if he can lead it just enough, he's going to get himself a lap lead. Although he's going to have to hold off Jeffrey Belk, who has closed up that gap. Jeff knows it's time to push. So he is going to do anything he can to get by and get that lap lead. Even if it means sometimes taking a bit more of a risky strategy than you want to. Neither of them come in to pit road this time, but it looks like Paul is going to get himself that lap lead. Brady Floyd has also not come into pit as he runs down the front stretch. That's going to put him in 3rd position. And Michael Jennings up into 4th. Mr. Hybrid himself running in 4th place on fuel mileage. But I shouldn't even say just out of fuel mileage. Out of everyone that's pit so far, he's one of the top ones that still hasn't. That's clearly showing some speed there. And it looks like the closest person to Jennings right now, that's Tyler Hallahan. And you saw just how much that camera had to whip back to see him. All right, Paul Ems continues to lead. He did not pit in. Once again, he's under pressure from Jeffrey Belk. These two duking it out for the lead right now. Who's going to get the lap sled and who's going to win onto pit road? This is the time where I'd recommend you place your bets here. I don't have betting available here on Twitch, and I'm going to make sure it stays that way. I don't want to get kind of any issues with that. But still, this would be a time that you really consider it, and it looks like Paul Ems is going to be coming into pit road. That's going to give Jeffrey Belk the lap lead. Now, that was a risky move out of those two, running it out so long. This is essentially becoming an overcut, as a lot of the other drivers so far have pit. Brady Floyd into the pits as well. It looks like Jennings, Tyler are the... Nope. Yeah, Jennings and Tyler are also the only ones not to have pit. See Michael Jennings right there. Currently about to put a lot of pressure on Hunter, as Hunter is currently a lap down. However, Belk, Jennings, and Hallahan still have to pit. And there it is. That's Jeffrey Belk going out on pit road. Down the front stretch. Can he get out in time? That becomes the question. And this is going to be giving the lead here to Brian Fradienne, who pit in way earlier, as did Brandon Fiedler. These two have been working together. They have got a plan in store, that is for sure. That number 81 Victos, Bobby Allison Throwback, is now coming back with a big message, as he's now going to be taking the lead once your top two is Belk is still in pit road. Yeah. There he is. He spins the tires. Trying to leave pit road now. That's on the 6th. Saw some collision there. That's going to be the number 66 of Sylvan Seguin, if I'm not mistaken. Involved in that. Yeah, he was. Goodness, that has got to be scary, as Hallahan and Jennings are now into the pits. This is now a chase for Brian Fradienne to get himself into the lead. Down the front stretch he goes. Fradienne's got it. He's got the lead. Honestly, that's a great performance that we're seeing there. Just being able to really think about your strategy and what that means. So now when it comes up to the competition caution, he's going to be able to slot himself in and really make something. And it's going to help him a lot. He's got options right now. That's the good part about what Brian has. He has tons of options. Although he does not want a caution to come out right now unless it's the competition yellow, because otherwise he's going to be in trouble. Being on older tires than anyone else, everyone else is going to be faster. So, after his race win last week at Watkins Glen, I would definitely say that he's been able to carry this momentum that he had last week and really put something onto himself, as the 86 as Jennings almost goes around. He's able to save it. I believe that's leaving turn number 2. No, leaving turn number 4. Able to just hold on to it. That's the 8th place position of the 86 of Michael Jennings. So now Fradienne completely has the lead. His current, competitor, that's Brandon Fiedler, running in 2nd position. But it looks like, here we go, we caught it just in time. Hunter Peach moves to the inside there and gets himself a nice 2nd place finish. That faster paired number 39, Brandon Fiedler, just did not have a chance compared to the 84 of Hunter Peach, who's been able to dominate this race. But now here comes the question, can Hunter make up 2 seconds of lost time? So we're on lap number 44 of 110 here at Darlington. Hunter Peach is putting on a show, that's for sure. But as is Brian Fradienne, who was able to get himself a really good strategy call and got himself out into 1st place. We run through your order right now. You can see they're on your screen. A lot of these guys are getting really changed up due to that pit stop strategy and what that's going to mean for them. Some of these guys got really hurt on that one. Marc Lapierre absolutely got destroyed. Michael Jennings did not do so hot with his massive overcut. Greg Snowgrove also struggling. I'd say probably your best overcut driver has to be Brady Floyd, currently running in 6th place. I guess Paul Ems and Jeffrey Bell also did pretty big overcuts as well, that's for sure. And they got themselves up into 4th and 5th, but I think that's just how much distance they were able to gain. Still, that's just such a risky strategy, especially at a track like Darlington. You want to play it safe here. This is the track that's too tough to tame. So honestly, it's really impressive that these guys have been able to run as well as they have been. We look back a little bit further here. This is Patrick Lucho, who currently runs the Sports Fanatic podcast, as he's running in 12th position with his number 44, Terry Labonte Throwback. Looks like he's having some connection issues, so we're going to pop up with him for now. And this is a gap that we've just seen absolutely close, as you have a gaggle here of 4 cars, as though the 84 pulls down. Collision into the wall makes him pull down the road, and that is going to give another chance for Brian Fradienne to run away. as they race across the line there to see who can get, you know, if Jennings is going to get lapped or not. He is. You can see just how close they are. So after that incident, that is unfortunate because Hunter Peach had closed a massive gap from that 84 Chevrolet Camaro to the 81 Toyota Camry. Honestly, it is impressive to see the performance we've seen out of these drivers. These guys are being able to, you know, they're so competitive with each other, and it's great to see, but it's also terrifying in their same right, as they've been able to, you know, be right on each other's heels the entire time. We see a difference in line there, as we see the 84 tends to dip down just a little bit more into the start of corner entry than Hunter does. Although it looks like Hunter is struggling off of turn number 2, going down the back stretch. Still, keep in mind, this gap is 2 seconds. That's multiple car lengths back, you know, and he's already within 3 car lengths. I mean, what a move that he's been able to make so far and really catch himself back up. It's impressive just to see what he's been able to do. All right, here they go. They're on lap number 50 of 110 here at Darlington, going down the front backstretch. My apologies. You know, this is now becoming a race of who's going to get the most laps left, as Brian Fredian has been able to do such a great job holding up Hunter. All right, so across the line we go. That's lap 51 of 110. We're almost at the halfway point of this race. Now, here's the part I have to ask you, chat. Who is going to get the stage point? Is it going to be your upstart here of Hunter Peach, or is it going to be last week's winner of Brian Fredian? Because honestly, I'm not sure. We see Hunter closing up now. He comes out of 4, absolutely riding that bumper of the 81 Victos machine. All right, we're going to go ahead and move back to the rear of the field. Thank you for your support there. I appreciate it, as this is Sylvan Seguin there. It is number 66 Toyota Camry, running currently in last place here in the CASCAR Black Designs Cup Series. Thank you very much for your support there. I appreciate it. Although Silver looks like he's trying to make some moves, though. Shoots up to the inside of the number 39. Hopefully he won't take him out. There you go. Files back just to give him a little bit more room. All right, we got to head back up to the front of the field. We got to see this. Uh-oh. Jeffrey Belk on a move. This is what happens when we miss it. Although we get to see great, you know, dispersion in the field as they leave. They're leaving turn number 4. Jeffrey Belk up into 2nd place. He's been able to really catch up and give Fredian a run for his money. And now Hunter Peach is struggling. Fredian continues to lead for right now, as Jeffrey Belk is hot on his heels. Jeffrey Belk has been able to be just absolutely on a move as we're on lap number 54. Stage is approaching fast. Though they are teammates, they are still racing for points. Both of them are in the playoffs. They don't want to take each other out, but they don't want to give each other a race win either. There they go. They're getting into each other's bumpers. Belk right on the rear end of the 81. All right, we're on lap number 55. We're at the halfway mark of this race here with the Sports Fanatics Throwback race here at the CASCAR Black Designs Cup Series. Big dive down there. We're seeing out of Jeffrey Belk trying to shoot on the inside, going down the backstretch. Is he going to be able to take it? That is the question, as Patrick Coluccio is off the track, wrecked. Caution not thrown out by iRacing. That means it was off the racing surface, as the 55 looks wide as they go down the front stretch. Here, it's a skid to the wall there of the 55 of Jeffrey Belk as Hunter takes away the 2nd place there across the line. That was very close. All right, that is your caution. That's a stage break. I mean, just we made it through halfway, and Brian Fredian has been able to keep that lead off of an extremely close battle with him, Belk, and Peach. I mean, that is impressive to see. That is for sure. All right, I'm going to make sure that I give them a chance this week and let them get into pit road before I bring someone up to interview, as that did not help Belk last week. So we'll give them a chance. Still, what a show we're seeing, you know, of your leaders up here. These guys have all been really fast all week, and it's great to see them. starting to really be competitive now with each other. All right, there is your iRacing.com Motorsport Simulations pace truck. Imagine a lot of these guys are going to be going in this lap. We're going to let them go into their pit box before I bring them up. We'll bring up Brian first and put in the chat who you want me to bring up next so we can give everyone a little bit of airtime. Go ahead and also move back into a more modern mode there so we get a little bit smoother stuff, and you can see just the paint scheme's a little bit better here. That is another rule that CASCAR has to abide by. They have to stay to that outside lane until you're within, I believe it's around 5 pit stalls, and then you're able to pull down and get yourself into your pit box. Otherwise, you just can't. You have to stay out of the way so that there's less accidents on pit road, and I believe that has been a really good thing that's been working out. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring up the number 81 of Brian Fradian up into the booth as he leaves the pit lane. First off pit road, too. That's going to give him an excellent spot, currently running in second position behind Greg Snowgrove, who did not choose to pit in. All right, let's go ahead and bring Brian up. Brian, it's an open booth. Do you read me?
Yep. Sorry, I was pressing all the wrong buttons.
It's all good. I totally understand. You just got yourself a stage win. How are you feeling?
Honestly, I am surprised. Because Darlington is Darlington. It's a challenge, and it's a fun challenge. At least I enjoy it. But yeah, I was kind of surprised, especially with how things are playing out.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, you had a bit of a rough start of this race. You know, did not start on the very front lane, but I mean, you've been able to come back in a really well way. That strategy that you pulled worked out so well in your favor.
Yeah. Luckily, I was able to keep Greg behind me, and then when Brandon called out that Greg was pitting, I was like, "Well, I'm coming in now," because once the first guy comes in, you have to come in because of the pace difference. But yeah, it just played out that unfortunately he missed the pit entry, and I was able to essentially be the first car on the lead, or the first car in the front group to come in and pit.
Well, it definitely worked out so far. How are you feeling about the stage win? I mean, like, this has really big playoff implications going forward.
Yeah, getting the stage win, leading laps, it all really helps. We're really hoping that all three, Jeff, Brandon, and I, are able to actually get into the final, the championship final. So yeah.
Well, we saw a huge run out of Jeffrey Belk there, approaching the line. What happened, and are you afraid of what's going to be happening in the next couple of laps?
Yeah, I am, just because I don't have the first lap pace, or the early pace. So really hoping to just be able to continue keeping it, or stay out of trouble. I'm going to probably fall back, but then be able to chip back and try and do the same strategy as the last stage.
Well, it's definitely going to be a race to watch. Thank you very much for your time. Is there anything you want to say to our audience over at home?
I just want to thank everybody for watching, all my family members, any of the Lost Boys. It really means a lot to me that you guys will watch. I want to say Happy Father's Day to my dad. It means a lot that you've been in my life and you're my father. So, yeah.
All right, well, Brian, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I'm sure that everyone else appreciates your nice messages as well.
Thanks. Have a good night, man.
You too. Good luck. All right, that was Brian Fradian in the 81. I'm sorry I wasn't able to bring Brandon up. I'll make sure that I do it at the next chance I get, even if it means I have to give him a post-race interview. All right, as we head now with the pace truck off down the front stretch, here we go. Green flag, it drops, and Brian Fradian is off to an excellent start so far here with the Black Designs Cup Series. It's going to bring up your classic mode once again and move it back into the throwback as Paul M shoots it on the inside there of Brandon Fiedler, but he's got that outside lane. Brandon is making a difference. He's able to shoot by. He gets by Greg. I'm so sorry. Gets by Paul. Brandon Fiedler makes a move there on Paul Ems. He's got the position. He's got third place. He's got to hold on to it now. That's an AEG 1, 2, 3. But can they hold on to it? We just saw a huge slide there of the 39. He's now under a ton of pressure from that 28. Leading turn number 4, going down the front stretch once again. You can see just how close your top 4 are. 5th place, that's Hunter Peach. I think he's trying to lie back just a little bit. We saw that he had a really good run last time. Hopefully he's going to be able to maintain it. Although he has Greg Snellgrove right on his tail. He's got to keep that in mind. You see a difference in line there as Belk moves up towards the top. They're starting to go too wide here. That is an interesting choice to make as Brandon holds that bottom lane. Are they trying to do a bottom lane dominant now? Thank you everyone that's been able to join in. I appreciate it now. As we head through turns 3 and 4, Brian Fradian leads this field with Jeffrey Belk close behind and Brandon Fiedler in 3rd. Paul Ems still in 4th. He's been rocking that Tony Stewart paint and he's been doing a great job putting a ton of pressure onto the leaders. Right now, he is the one that everyone's going to want to watch. Equipment Geek Racing has been able to have a dominant season so far, although they only maintain a 5-point lead over the Great White North. And this is going to be a race that starts to really make the championship for teams very interesting. Greg Snellgrove is currently, Paul Ems is currently the highest position Great White North driver running in 4th. And he's got Greg right behind him in 5th. That is good points for them, but not as good as an EG 1, 2, 3 that we're seeing out of Fradian, Belk, and Fiedler. Still, Brian Fradian's been able to lead. He, gave a really touching interview. I mean, it's Father's Day, and that really means a lot to the people. So once again, happy Father's Day to everyone out there as Jeffrey Belk is doing his best to do what he can. But that's Paul Ems there, shooting up on the inside as best as he can on the number 39 of Brandon Fiedler. It was just not enough to get through. That is the struggle with Darlington. Is it going to be enough? That is the question that these guys are going to be asking the entire time here at the CASCAR Black Designs Cup Series Sports Fanatics Podcast Throwback Races. We see a huge slide out of the number 39 down the backstretch. He slides down the field. That's going to put him into 5th position now. That puts Paul back up into 3rd, and it's now going to give Hunter someone he has to race. Hunter Peach led a ton of laps in the start of this race, but has been struggling ever since the first pit stop cycle. Is he going to be able to get back into it? He led a great race so far. I hope he can. Although, currently your 1-2 of Equipment Geek Racing have a huge challenge behind them of Paul Ems and Greg Snellgrove. These two are very fast, but it looks like Greg is just struggling to keep up just enough pace with your leaders as he has the number 39 of Brandon Fiedler behind him. With Fradian in the lead, he's getting a big chase right now from Jeffrey Belk, although you can see Paul Ems really trying his best to make up the difference, and he's been doing a great job of it. He is not giving them 1 second to breathe, as that's now giving Greg Snellgrove a chance to catch up, getting himself into a 4th place that's actually close. Fradian was able to play an excellent pit stop strategy and got himself a magnificent stage win, and that is going to be great momentum for him to carry after last week's race at Watkins Glen, where he won. Jeffrey Belk also was running a great race last week at Watkins Glen until he spun out, leaving the S's there at the New York track, causing him to wreck and have to move to the rear of the field, although he was able to put on a great show regardless, as he now tries to move to the outside on the 81 Victos machine of Brian Fradian. Paul Ems behind, currently still running in 3rd. He's doing what he can, but it seems to be just not enough quite yet. I wonder if he's trying to dive that corner just enough, a little bit more than the guys out in front of him. That's the good part that Paul has, is he can tell what lines are working and what ones aren't. That's something that Fradian's going to be struggling with this entire time. Is it enough? That's the question he has. Jeffrey Belk slides out to the outside just a little bit too much, and that is scrubbed off speed for him. That's Snellgrove looking down low as Paul Ems moves up into 2nd place, getting by Belk. You're right, I have a 10 KI rating. Definitely 100%. As Jeffrey Belk moves up into 3rd position, holding off Greg Snellgrove. Greg was not able to get by, and that is going to be a struggle that he has to watch. That is given an opportunity, though, for Fradian to continue to run away, entering lap number 72 of 110 here at the Sports Fanatics podcast, Throwback Race with CASCAR. That 28 of Paul Ems doing his best to keep on him. He's putting the pressure on really well, but Fradian just has the speed to run away. You can see there your top three. It looks like groups of threes are the popular thing here at Darlington. As soon as they get any bigger, they just start to break up again. No, these are like some top positions that we're seeing right now for Belk and Paul. I mean, we just don't see them, running right here. We've not seen them in this race. So I think that this is a lot of pressure on both of them to perform really well as the caution is out here at Darlington. Huge wreck there we just saw there. I believe that's Sylvan Seguin spun out on the track. It is. All right, give me a moment. We're going to take a look at that and see what happened. All right, I got it right here. Let's go ahead and bring that up so you can see what's going on. You see Brady Floyd there in the number 66 of Sylvan Seguin, leaving turn number 2. Let's go ahead and change up that camera angle just to get a little bit better view so we can see really what happened. Brady Floyd hits the wall. Sylvan Seguin is just right there below him, clips him and, takes them both out. And because Sylvan was around on the track and Brady was slow, it called the caution on that one, understandably so. But absolutely unfortunate for the two drivers. I mean, Brady was running a really good race so far and with his Ford Mustang, and Sylvan was struggling, but still was able to do what he could. Just an innocent bystander in that fact. Although at that point, it begs the question: is where was the line? But we're gonna have to see that a little bit going forward. Is a lot of drivers are now coming into pit. Brian Fradian is going to be your lead car on pit road. With him being the lead car on pit road, right now he is the one with the most pressure on him to get a really good pit stop here. Take just enough fuel to get to the end. Take just the right amount of tires. And the question is does he have it? As Hunter Peach has that first pit stall, that's the question here with the race on pit road. All right, we see that's Fradian out, currently leaving in first. Paul, Belk, Snellgrove, Brandon, Hunter. He just wasn't able to get it. And that's Tyler Hallahan there in 8th, leaving pit lane. Not really too much of a change up in positions. However, that is a lot of pressure that they had to run through. And they definitely handled it well. So I said that I would do it before. Let's go ahead and bring up Brandon Fiedler and see how he's doing here at Darlington. Brandon, it's open the booth. Do you read me? Well, you're currently running in 5th position. You've been running a pretty good race so far. How is it going?
To start the race, it was, I thought it was good when I had the lead. And then slowly I started to realize I just killed my tires way too early. So, but the later part of the race here, it's actually been pretty nice. Just kind of learning from like Brian, Paul, and Greg, just to kind of see how they save their tires on that first run. So it's actually going pretty well right now.
What kind of chance do you think you have right now for running really well?
I still think I think it's relatively high. I think I can get around some of these guys later in the run if when it comes to it. Hopefully everything it stays green to the end, because I think I have a pretty good shot at this thing.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Who would you say is your biggest threat right now to not only maintaining 5th place but getting further forward?
I know Hunter's really fast. That last run, I don't think it really showed how fast he actually is at this thing. Paul's been really quick. Brian's really quick. So I'd say really those three are really the ones to watch for this.
I would definitely have to agree with you there. I mean, honestly, the top 6 that we've been seeing have been all up in each other's business the entire time, just in 2 separate packs. But we see that pack rotating out. Do you think that you can hopefully keep up and really make a difference? I mean, you said you've been watching the lines, and I've seen your speed progressively increase.
Yeah, like I said, coming into this, I thought I had a good plan of attack, but turned out that was the wrong strategy to have. But so kind of learning from other guys and just kind of getting used to the track has really helped throughout this race.
I totally gotcha. Well, congratulations on being able to, run so far and really being able to adapt to your surroundings and get faster. You definitely have some fans over in the chat watching you.
Yeah, thanks, and thanks to the fans and friends and family that are watching back home.
All right, well, now before I let you go, is there anything you want to say to them aside from thank you for being there?
Just happy Father's Day to really my grandfather, my uncle, two of my cousins, and most importantly, my dad, just for being the best dad in the world.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Brandon. I appreciate it, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that was Brandon Fiedler in the number 39 Schroeder Plumbing. Honestly, that he always runs a great paint, that is for sure. But as we head down now, the pit road is about to be open there with the truck. Yep, truck heads down pit road, and we're about to go green here at the CASCAR Black Designs Cup Series once more. Brian Fredian leads the field with Paul Ems on the outside as they come down the front stretch. There it is, away we go, green flag. Fredian off to another good start. He has those restarts down. Paul struggling just a little bit on the outside, but you can tell that he has a much faster outside lane approach than anybody else. Looks like Greg was trying to dive down, but I think that's an interesting choice to make as we see a huge cut there. A lot of drivers sliding through as they run now through turn number 2. They head down the backstretch, the Boeing straightaway, heading into turn number 3. We see that Fredian able to hold off Paul Ems, your top 2 now, really the ones starting to form up this race. They shouldn't need to pit anymore here at this track. The Darlington, too tough to tame, Lady in Black. Honestly, this has been an interesting race that we're seeing, especially here towards the end when everyone's been a bit more, bottled up. Fredian continues to lead for now. He does have Paul Ems right on him, and Jeffrey Belk not far behind. That becomes the question of who is going to get this race, and that's where I go to you, Jack. Who do you think is going to get this one? We see Belk right now putting on a lot of pressure, doing what he can to get through Paul Ems, but it's just not enough quite yet. Sometimes you have to not burn up your tires, but sometimes you don't want to wait too long either when you don't have anything left. Very close to that wall there. We're seeing the 55 and the 22 get. It is dangerous how close they are getting. You see that the corner approach that they're taking is they're trying to take a bit more of an arced entry in, start up high and then dive down low and then go right back up. And that is an interesting approach to take, and that's not quite what Hunter was doing, but it looks like Hunter is kind of struggling right now to keep up positions. However, he does have 5th place. Able to ride up on that high line a lot longer, and I think it's going to help here in our longer runs as Paul Ems moves down to the bottom, as it looks like he's just barely about to chop off the nose there of Jeffrey Bell. Through 3 and 4 they go. Greg Snellgrove now really getting up into that pack, making it a 4-group pack. Although he's just a little bit hair off. It's just, he's been kind of like biding his time, or, not sure if he's just trying to experiment with the lines, but he's got to get up there pretty soon. There's not too much of this race left as we're on lap number 82 of 110 here at the Sports Fanatics podcast. Throwback race here with CASCAR. The CASCAR Black Designs Cup Series brought to you by Stephen Black, who was unfortunately not able to make this race. He joined in the session, but I think there might have been an issue or something. He wasn't able to attend, which is sad because last week he was struggling as well. He still has the top spot in the not the team championship, my apologies, the Drivers' Championship though. Down the Boeing backstretch once more, and these guys are really on top of each other. They're able to keep the pace with each other quite well. And even, Greg, who's been struggling just to stay right on the edge of, the bumpers, has still been doing a great job at just keeping with, which is hard to do, especially at a track like Darlington. Fredian, though, after that restart, has currently led every single lap. And honestly, that is an impressive feat to hold. And he was even able to hold it after the first stage break caution, too. So, currently, that is showing just how much speed that number 81 Victos machine has. As Jeffrey Belk moves to the outside of Paul Ems, Paul throws a block going down the front stretch. Belk looking to see what kind of line he's willing to take. He's had a lot of really good success, but a lot of, struggles there with that high line. That's the question, is does he take it? Does he not? If he tries to take it, it might send him to the wall again, losing him more time. It's the bet you have to take because you're just never sure where you want to be. Fredian continues to lead here at Darlington. I'm surprised that he's been able to keep those tires in check. I mean, that's the struggle that I have found when I've been ever I race here, is just keeping those tires under control. We know that Jeffrey Belk is really good at managing that tire compound as he moves to the inside of the 28 of Paul Ems down the Boeing backstretch. Not enough, though, as Paul is able to maintain his position. Are we going to have a, what was it, 2002 or 2001? Kurt Busch and Ricky Craven? Nobody's running in a tied car, though. And we're missing Sharpie as well. But hey, if we can have a Home Depot versus the NASCAR Geeks, supposed to be Napa, for second place, I don't know. I think that's going to make some great television there. I mean, what a race finish we saw then, and I think that we're going to be getting something of the sorts here with the CASCAR Black Designs Cup Series crew. These guys, you know, they race each other really well, and they've been putting on a dominant performance so far. We saw good racing at Watkins Glen. We've seen it just about everywhere. I think the only really main struggle tracks have been Martinsville and Nashville, as the 55 of Jeffrey Belk moves to the inside. He's got it. Jeffrey Belk down to the inside. Oh, 2003. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. There he goes to the inside. He's able to keep it on the bottom. Jeffrey Belk trying to get by. He just isn't cleared quite yet, but he has the second place position as they cross the line. Into turn 1 they go. Big slide up there we just saw out of the 55. Paul holds his line, but he loses the position to Jeffrey Belk, who's taken away second position. Now we see Paul hoping to dive down on that inside lane, make a move. He's looking for it. You can definitely tell. Belk into the wall. Right into the wall. Hunter Peach staying back, hoping to make up some ground. This is the time for him to do it as Brian Fredian continues to run away. Here they go into turn number 1 and now 2. Nope. Yes, that was turn 1 and 2. But they both get into the wall. Belk hits way harder, though, as he moves down. They run 3 wide there for a second there, but it looks like Belk has been able to escape much better than Paul has. Except I say that, but it looks like only on initial start they did. That is giving a huge amount of damage there to Jeffrey Belk. He looks way slower than he did before, and Greg Snellgrove is now up into second position under threat from Hunter Peach, as Brian Fredian has a 1.5 second lead. What an incident we just saw. Hunter now looking to the inside of Greg. I don't know if he's going to let him take it. Greg is known to be impossible to pass, but we don't see Hunter usually going for passes, so if he can try to make one happen, there's Greg. Goes down to block. Paul Ems currently running in 4th. You know, he was running a great time, and he only just skimmed that wall, but it looks like he's not having nearly as many troubles as Jeffrey Belk is, as he continues to lose time. Now Hunter is getting a Great White North sandwich. He's got to be very careful as Greg pulls down low. He's going to let the 84 take the high line, but it looks like on the initial quarter start, Greg puts him into the wall. Greg moves back up just a little bit, but he dives down. He's waving all over the place, not sure. Hunter Peach moves up into second position. Paul M still on the outside. Snowgrove has to keep that bottom as he gets into the number 39 there of Brandon Fiedler. That moves Paul Ems down into 5th. Hunter Peach still in 2nd. Greg Snowgrove in 3rd. You see that the last laps here are really starting to heat up. Here with the Black Designs Cup Series is, whoa, we see Paul Ems getting very close to that rear bumper of number 39. This is given a chance for Belk to catch back up, and I think he has some words there for Paul Ems, even though they did not get each other. This is a very big, threatening spot to be in. It looks like for the moment that Hunter is in a very rough spot to be, as is Brian. Everyone is in a not ideal place. Diving down, we see that 28 trying to take that line. He's trying his best not to get in that wall. He has a bit too many words with that wall. That's for sure, as Belk gets right into the rear of him. They're getting very close as they start to battle now for 5th place. Belk backs off, though. He's not trying to take him out this late into the race, as Hunter Peach runs away with a 2nd place finish for the moment. You know, we're on lap number 95 of 110. Not too much of this race left to go as Brian Fredian continues with a 0.6 second lead. Hunter Peach has been closing that gap. We're going to keep an eye on it. So he's not grow any further. We see Greg Snellgrove now doing his best to keep up with the pace, but it looks like he's going to be under pressure from the number 39 at Brandon Fiedler. It looks like Ems and Belk have backed off. They're not trying to give each other too much running right now towards the end of this race. There's not too much time left to go. This race is going to be a very good nail-biter finish. We see now that gap has gone down from 0.6 to 0.4. He's getting close. Hunter Peach is gaining on Brian Fradian. This is the time to take it if he's ever going to have a time. Lap number 97 of 110 here with the Sports Fanatics podcast throwback race here at Darlington. Apologies, I'm going to remove that little sticker there. Thank you to Patrick Coluccio for letting us have a fantastic race here tonight. The gap reduces even further. It's down to 0.25. No, down to 1.66. Hunter Peach is gaining on Brian Fradian. This is the moment that Hunter's been waiting for. Looks like Brian Fradian is having some issues there. His car is just starting to lose control. He's been pushing it really hard this entire time, as now Greg Snellgrove is going to get caught up in the mix. This is when you start to ask, who is going to get it? Your top three are right on top of each other as they round turn number 4, going down the front stretch here, lap number 99. I think it is fair to say that Brian is definitely going to have the most laps led here, but he is under huge threat from Hunter, and this is Hunter's spot to not only take a win, but really show not only his competency behind the wheel. I mean, he's been running a great job this entire track in any race that we've really seen him in. You know, he's always running pretty good. So this is really his ideal spot to be in right now. Can he get through? But it also messes with the playoff drivers. Jennings Esports, I mean, Michael Jennings, his team owner, is running in second spot, but Jennings currently is only running in ninth. This is the spot for Hunter to hopefully make some playoff changes. Leaving turn 2 they go. We see that is a good spot there for Hunter. He's been able to hold on to it a lot better. We see Brian starting to lose time more and more through that area. Leaving turn 4 they go. They're trying to back off on each other just a little bit. They don't want to ruin the race now. 10 laps to go. Whoa, huge slowdown there. We just saw it at Brian Fradian. That made Hunter have to check up. Is that a dirty strategy we're going to start seeing a little bit more? Or is that just an unfortunate, byproduct of losing your tires as Hunter Peach continues to gain? Hunter looking down low. He's trying to make a move through, but that 81 Victos is blocking in every way he can. That Bobby Allison throwback is now having a good race against the Dale Jr. throwback. Hunter looking to the outside, looking to see if he can make a move. He's out of his quarter. He's in. Hunter Peach is into Brian Fradian. He's got it. He just has to hold on to it a little bit more as Greg Snellgrove gives him a little bit of a push, but they lose it going down the straight. 84 holds it out wide. Rounding turn 4, they go down the front stretch. 84 continues to look like that's Peach trying to do anything he can to get by Fradian, but Fradian will not let him through. We see a really big difference in drivers here, as now we see Hunter Peach diving down. He's doing anything he can. This is the last 10. This is when things get reckless. He's continuing to try to do it. He's getting so close. Hunter Peach running a great start to this race, but he's been struggling, after that first stage yellow, but then after the second yellow, he's been really back into it. So now he has to apply himself and get by, but he's under pressure from Greg Snellgrove, and Brian Fradian is not letting him through. Brian has to remember that while he is in the playoffs and he's doing really well, is it worth it to keep blocking someone that's been doing really well and is not going to affect your playoff points that much? If Brian wants to race him really aggressively, continually, he's got to keep that in mind. Just a little bit too much, and suddenly these guys are going to have a lot of animosity towards each other a little bit later down the line. We don't need another Logano incident that we've seen a couple of times as we see the 84 dive to the inside. He's got it. He's got it. He's getting by. He holds that bottom lane. Almost slides up into him. He's got to keep that bottom lane if he wants to get through. We see the 81 into the wall. They now leave the turn. Hunter Peach ahead. Big slide there, and he turns him. That might have been netcode, I think, as they take out Sylvan Sequin. And no, there it is. Caution is out there. Hunter Peach gets, I think that might have been netcode. Oh my goodness. A late race caution on lap 106 of 110. Hunter Peach going for the lead, taken out. We're going to go ahead and look at that again so we can see really what happened there. I want to make sure we get the full story before I point fingers. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, I have it right here. I got the nice camera too. So we're going to go ahead and show this up so you can see what happened. Make this a little bit clearer. We're going to go ahead and switch over to our modern mode. Thank you to Pierce Graphics once again for giving us these wonderful overlays. We slow time down. Here we see that the 84 has the line. It looks like a big slide we're seeing there out of the 81. And yep, netcode. Netcode or a spin of the tires, I'm not sure. And that takes out the 84. Greg Snellgrove takes the lead off of that one across the line. That puts Greg up ahead, and Sylvan unfortunately gets absolutely just taken out there. Not intentional at all, just an unfortunate bystander. Sylvan's had a rough couple races recently, and he's had a rough season, really. But man, what an incident we just saw there. I mean, wow. So yeah. All right. Let's okay. This is where the question comes into play of who do we bring up? I don't want to bring up anyone that was directly involved. I don't ever see that going well. So let's go and bring up Paul Ems. He's currently running in 3rd place. Paul, let's open the booth. Do you read me? Well, currently you're running in 3rd position. How are you doing? Did you not get a good view of what happened? Yeah, I mean, what an incident that was. We just saw, I mean, Hunter had been running a great race, and he unfortunately got involved in that one. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, he's been super quick all day. I couldn't catch him at all. But this restart should be interesting. We all got old tires, and everybody's a little banged up, so this might be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see these last couple of laps go. How do you think your chances are now? You're gonna be starting on the bottom.
Well, I think I like starting on the bottom, but I got 3 teammates all around me, so they're not gonna make it easy on me. I'm just gonna try and get a run and take what I can here.
That is for sure. We saw a huge battle there. I think it was even for 5th place between you and Jeffrey Belk.
Yeah, Jeff and I, we were going at it pretty good, and I came over the radio and I said, "Nice racing, buddy," and immediately he hit the wall and crashed. So I kind of might have jinxed him, but yeah, we had a good little battle there.
I think Jeff is very susceptible to the common curse.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right, well, so you've been running a great race, and I'm excited to see what you're going to be able to do here on these last couple laps. Before I let you go, is there anything you want to say to our audience out there?
Nope. Just thanks everybody for watching. Like I said, sit back and enjoy this. It might be some fireworks.
I definitely see that. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck.
Yeah.
All right, that was the number 28. Paul Ems running in his Tony Stewart throwback. Throwback. All right, let's see. Who do we bring up now? Let's see. Is Patrick available? Yes, he is. Let's go ahead and bring him up so we can get a good description there of the Sports Fanatic podcast, our sponsor. Patrick, is open the booth. Do you read me?
No, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I see you're not running here anymore.
I got a giant meatball, and internet has not been the greatest today, so I figured it was better to end my race than someone else's.
You know what? That is a very fair move, and it takes a really good, perception to see that sometimes it's just not the best place to be.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but coming off of 3 and 4, I was going to pass Brady and almost wrecked Brady there. So I was like, you know what? And I wrecked coming off of 1 and 2, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna call it. I'll help Paul and Greg out.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense to me. Well, we're going to be going green flag pretty shortly here. I want to give you a chance to talk about Sports Fanatic podcast.
All right, Sports Fanatics podcast is a podcast I do with my dear friend Noah Snyder, and we give a fan's point of view of all the things going on in sports. He's been away for a bit, so I've been trying to do it single-handedly, but it's not the same. Come college football season, we're bringing in our good buddy Cole to talk college football, and on Friday nights we're going to do a college football pick'em show, and we're going to be picking our picks for the week and talk about a bunch of other things. So you guys should check it out. Sports Fanatics podcast. You can find us on all major streaming services: Apple, Google, Spotify, anything you can think of that has podcasts on it. That's where it's going to be.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Patrick. I appreciate it, and thank you for being a great sponsor.
Yeah, thanks, Noah. Thank you for sitting here helping us out.
Glad to do it. All right, that is the number 39 around here on the restart. Brian, huge crash there with Sylvan Seguin into the 85 in Malvania. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that again. Oh my goodness, unfortunate timing that we just had right there. I hate to have to cut Patrick off, but huge, just green flag, and oh man. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at that one more time. That is a very unfortunate accident there for Brandon Feely, who had he was starting in a really good spot, and oh man. Now, one of the things that I was told specifically by the league owner there, Greg Snellgrove, is that if you spin your tires on the restart, if someone, I can't use the language he used, if someone spins the tires on the restart, everyone has permission to speak distastefully. And it looks like that's what happened there with the number 39. He pulls down, no big accident. I say that, though. It looks like Malvania also had some struggles there. We're going to review that. Take a look there. The netcode there, spin at the tires. Yeah, kind of like a combination of things. Goes up, barely misses his team boss there, but gets into Sylvan, unfortunately, and just barely misses Brandon Feeler there. Unfortunate as the pace car is back out here at Darlington. I mean, yikes. That's the kind of stuff you don't really, love to see, but it's what happens. I mean, it's tough to go on the starts, that's for sure, especially when your tires are just absolutely obliterated. Everyone is really antsy to get going. I'm not surprised. All right, well, let's bring up someone that we have not brought up in a little while, and we're going to make sure that we specifically don't give him a curse. Let's bring up the number 40. Not the 44, I'm sorry. The number 55 of Jeffrey Belk. Jeff, it's Noah up at the booth. Do you read me?
Yeah, how you doing, Noah?
I'm doing all right. You got yourself a nice third-place position behind what appears to be your race rival this race, Paul Ems.
Me and him's been having a good battle.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a fair amount of laps ago, but you guys were having a really big battle even for 5th place.
Yeah, he's a real good driver. We've just been trying to stay up here with the leaders, and I know the right side of this thing's all jacked up, but we're just trying to hold position now, try to get something salvageable out of this.
Well, here on your second green light checkered attempt, how do you think you're going to do here? You got a lot of good drivers around you, but you've had a really good car so far.
I don't think we have anything for Brian or Paul, just because the right end's so dead. It's hard to steer, but if we can keep everyone behind us, I think we can still secure top 3 out of it.
Makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, come on, you've been doing a great race so far. What was up with, I believe it's before the stage, you all of a sudden had a huge burst of speed. Where'd that come from?
It's called 8-lap fresher tires.
Ah. Okay. Noted. But still, I mean, very impressive that we've seen you so far. I know that Darlington is not your favorite racetrack.
I mean, I kind of have to have some love for it. It's my home track. I do hate the Myrtle Beach little billboard coming off the tube because the nickname's Murder Beach, and it's been murdering a lot of cars.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, you've had a great race so far, and I don't want to, cause any other issues. You know that you have sadly a bad track record of commentators' curses and people talking to you curses.
At least I'm not trying to come on pit road this time.
You know what? That is a great point. Especially after last week. I apologize for that.
That's good. We everything's cleared up with that, so we're good.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Is there anything you want to say to our audience before I let you go?
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for you for broadcasting, NASCAR Geek, Equipment Geek, all those on the car. Hopefully we're gonna have another interview here in about maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Let's hope so. Thank you very much for your time, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was the number 55 of Jeffrey Belk. He's going to be starting in the second row inside lane with Tyler Hallahan on his outside, Paul Ems in front of him, and his teammate Brian Fradian in first place. Your top two have been battling it out for a really long time, and I am excited to see how this final green-white checkered, hopefully final green-white checkered, is going to go. Lap 115 of 117, originally 110, here with the Sports Fanatics podcast throwback race. I mean, this is the point where you have to throw your bets in. Thank you to everyone that's come out so far. Throw your bets in who's going to get this race win. I'm excited to see it as the pit truck comes off of the racing surface. They head down. Green flag, and away we go here for hopefully the last time at Darlington. Bit of a slide there we're seeing on the 85, and the 81 is gone. Brian Fradian is completely checked out, leaving Paul Ems, Jeffrey Bell, Greg Snellgrove, everyone in the dust. Tyler Hallahan did not have a great restart, and they're wrecking again. Caution does not come out. Drivers were not on the racing surface apparently when it happened. That's a big slide. We saw a lot of those guys. We're going to make sure we get a good view of that after our race ends here. As we see now your top three, Fradian, Ems, Belk, here they go across the line. Hunter Peach, does he have a fresh car? Oh, he does. But it looks like he has too fresh of tires and is struggling there. I'm sorry there, Hunter. You know, he'd been running a great race, but still, a nice top 5 is going to be good for him. Here on the white flag, as Paul Ems is challenging Brian Fradian for the lead, as Belk goes around. Greg gets into him. Jeff holds onto it. Paul Ems looking to the inside. He comes to the inside of the 81. He does not have the run, and Brian Fradian wins the CASCAR Throwback, brought to you by Sports Fanatic Podcast. 8:16 p.m. Just, oh man, if only it had been 8:15. A great win we just saw there out of Brian Fradian in his Victos number 81 Toyota Camry. Huge runs that we've seen out of him. A great job indeed. I mean, your entire field, did an amazing job this race. I mean, everyone in the top 6 was on each other the entire time, and that's impressive to see at a track like Darlington, where it is very difficult to not only get good runs, but to produce good racing. A congratulations is absolutely in order for Brian Fradian. All right, let's go ahead and take a look and see what happened there on our previous incident that we saw with a whole bunch of drivers. We know that for sure Tyler Hallahan was involved in that one, so we're going to reference off of him. I'm fascinated to know. I mean, it was a really unfortunate accident that we saw with a ton of drivers involved. Let's go and take a look. Oh, let's see. Back up a little bit more. Alrighty. A better perspective here. Let me bring that up. All right. Following along with the number 88, a Tyler Hallahan there, and the number 88. Oh, looks like either tire slip or net code there off of Jennings. Sends him into the wall, and he's around. I think a couple drivers tried to cut low. Nope, just net coded. Oh, boy. He comes back up and clips Mark. Yep. Mark LaPierre just gets absolutely obliterated there on accident. Completely out of Tyler's control. Unfortunate, but thus happens. Still, we saw a really good ending to this race, and I think that's something that we all should be, very, I don't want to say just fortunate of, but really glad to see, such good racing here at Darlington Raceway. It's not often that we see fantastic racing. The 2003 finish we saw between Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch is one of the highlights of Darlington's, history. But I'm glad to see such a fantastic race finish here that we saw between Brian Fredian and Paul M. So given that, let's go ahead and bring up your third place finisher of Greg Snellgrove, who had a bit of an interesting collision there. We'll go ahead and make sure we bring that up between him and the last couple of guys, because I think a couple of people might have some words for him after that interesting finish with him. That is for sure. Let's go ahead and bring Greg up here with us. Greg, it's open the booth. Do you read me?
Hey, how you doing, Noah?
I'm doing all right. Well, you just got yourself a third place finish. How are you feeling?
Pretty sucky, actually, because I should have won the thing.
Really?
Those two got loose in front of me. I got around them, and then I pretty much put her in the wall because I couldn't get a handle of the car.
That was a very interesting finish from my perspective. That's for sure. The sending up on the inside there of Belk and that was, I think, a big collision there with Hunter.
Yeah, well. I overdrove it into Jeffrey, and I freaking feel like shit for that. That was my bad. I told him I'm sorry for it. Didn't mean to do it. But no, I was talking about before the caution there when Hunter and Brian were battling. Those two got into each other, and I got around them, but then lost control of the car.
Gotcha. I mean, it's such a common thing to do here at Darlington. It's so hard just to keep the car under control.
Oh, man, it's greasy. I had to get a fan put on me halfway through the race just because I'm so sweaty. It's so hot. So hard to drive.
Yeah, I mean, you got to manhandle the wheel to even try to move anywhere.
You're right.
Well, still, you got yourself a great third-place finish. I mean, you had a lot of speed so far this race, so you kind of stayed out of the top, I don't want to say the top four, but whenever there was a really small pack battling for the lead out front, you kind of stayed off. How come?
Because I was watching them, and I thought every time they get loose, they're going to collect each other, and I would drive through, and that was my goal. It's so hard to pass here. It's safer just to hope they mess up and go by them, because every time I try to pass, you're going to go up in the wall and take the two of you out or something. I don't like it. Every time I tried, I just backed out.
Honestly, that makes a lot of sense to me. You could tell just how much everyone was trying to wheel this car around the circuit. It is definitely impressive that everyone was able to keep the amount of cautions we did to a minimum.
Oh, it was a stressful race, very stressful. I was impressed though with the amount of green laps we did there. That was really good.
Absolutely, I am glad to see it, and that's what my main worry is we weren't going to have a lot of green flag laps, but you guys absolutely proved me wrong, and I'm glad to have to say it.
Yeah, they proved me wrong too. No Nashville 2.0 for us tonight.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, I gotta ask, how are you gonna celebrate this podium finish?
Well, I already got the Molson in my hand, and you know what else I'm gonna go do after this as well.
All right.
I'm hoping I made Ward Burton proud. I did a throwback to him this week because he's one of my favorite underdogs, and I felt like the underdog coming in here tonight, low on the points without a win, trying to defend my championship. Got to get in that Final Four.
Well, this is definitely going to help your championship goals, that's for sure. Currently 8th, but after this race, it's definitely going to bump you up quite a few spots.
I hope so.
All right, now before I let you go, I got to ask one last thing. Is there anything you want to say to our fans out there?
Thanks for watching us. We're trying to put on the best show we can, and thanks for everything you guys do. And just keep coming watching. We'll keep putting on a good show for you.
All right, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, and congratulations.
Thanks, Noah.
All right, that was the number 22 of Paul. Nope, no, it was not of Greg Snellgrove. I cannot do names, I swear. All right, let's get the number 28 of Paul Ems up into the booth, and just a little bit more of a look there of the finish we saw. I mean, what a race there. We're gonna back up this a little bit so we can see a great last little bit. Let's go and bring Paul up here in the booth.
Oh.
Paul, it's open the booth. Do you read me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Well, you just finished P2. How are you feeling?
Oh, that was a lot of fun. That was pretty wild, eh? Those restarts with cold tires it'll bite you. But that was a lot of fun.
I mean, it definitely looked like it. I mean, you had so many battles going on this entire race between. We saw a ton with Brian. We saw a bit with Greg, and then a whole heck of a lot there with Jeff.
Yeah. I was going toe-to-toe with those guys. It seemed like all race, which was a lot of fun. I mean, those guys are great to race with, obviously. And, they kept it as clean as we could. I thought I had something for Brian at the end there. I really tried to push him, but like I said, it's hard getting off those corners with the cold tires.
It absolutely is. But I mean, you gave him a great run for your money, that's for sure. I think he was probably a little bit scared looking in that mirror.
Yeah, I think if I had another lap, I could have probably got it done, but what can you do? P2's not bad.
No, I think that's going to be great, especially as you were 7th in the playoffs before this race, and now you're going to be moving up and you're safe because you just got a P2.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, I knew I had to make something happen with this race or I'd be in real trouble come Auto Club in 2 weeks. So got the job done as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. So I got to ask, how are you going to celebrate this podium finish? I mean, 2nd place, especially after, you've been having a bit of a rough season, especially these last couple of races. This has been great.
Yeah, it's been an up and down season for sure. But no, I'll probably go back and debrief with the team. I know some people were a little upset because it got a little rough there at the end. Not angry at anybody in particular, just it's racing. But yeah, we'll go debrief, and that'll be about it for me, buddy.
That makes a lot of sense. Is there anything you want to say to our fans out there?
Yeah, I'd just like to wish everybody a happy Father's Day. We got a bunch of great dads in the league here, and shout out to them for sure. Shout out to my dad. Thanks for everything, and yeah, that's about it, Noah.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
You too. All right, that was number 28 of Paul M's with his Tony Stewart throwback, taking home 2nd place. All right, let's go ahead and bring up your race winner, the number 81, 2 times in a row, Brian Fredian. Brian, it's Noah up in the booth. Do you read me?
Yeah, I read you, Noah. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic, but you just got yourself a race win, so you should be doing even better.
I feel great. It's so nice to be able to be locked into the championship.
I mean, it absolutely has to be. I mean, you were only 3rd though. It's not like you were, in 8th place.
It just removes the stress of something possibly happening. It just makes it so much nicer to just be able to go into the next race and just try and do everything that I can to get the other 2 guys in.
No, I totally understand. I definitely get it. I mean, what a dominant performance you ran. I mean, I think you led every single lap after the stage.
I think you are correct. So that's gonna be a nice points boost for the team. Yeah.
I mean, plus a race win. I mean, we can't forget about that. You just held off Paul M's. I mean, what a run he had towards the end. What a finish we saw all over the board.
I was sweating. I was really sweating because, I knew I had the consistency, just like a metronome, just in and out constantly, lap after lap. I knew I wasn't the fastest car on the track, and just being able to just bang out consistent lap times was really helpful. And the racing all around us was really great. It's a little unfortunate what happened to Hunter, and it's unfortunate what happened to Jeff at the end. But it just really is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of racing, though. You just end up in these poor spots every now and then where it ends up a bit rough. But I mean,
it is.
Everyone was able to put on a great show tonight. I mean, Hunter was able to do great. Jeff ran a fantastic race.
Yeah. I'm really, really happy with, not my effort, but the team's effort and the entire league's effort, because I think a lot of us were looking at this track going, because Darlington is a very difficult track. There's a reason why it's got the mantra, it's too tough to tame, or no.
Yeah, too tough to tame. You're
okay,
right.
Yeah. But it's I think we all did a really good job tonight, and I'm really proud of the product that we put out and of everything.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys' team you guys have been running a great season, and especially at a tough track like this, it really shows the communication and practice and effort you guys have all been putting in to put on a fantastic show and try to take away the championship. I know that Greg is coming for you guys. He's trying his best to keep the championship in his favor, but I mean, you guys have been making him quite scared. I can already tell.
Yeah, it's a lot tighter than I was expecting it to be, and it's great. It's stressful, but it's great.
No, I totally understand. But after this one, you should definitely be gunning after Steve now for the points lead. That's for sure. As you were able to just run a fantastic race, and 2 times in a row now.
Yeah, and that means I get to start from the back of the field at the next race. But Auto Club is going to be a much easier track to pass at than Darlington, so I'm okay with that.
That is a very, very fair sentiment, but still, I mean, what a dominant performance. That consistency you were talking about really did help out a lot, and just everything has been fantastic. How are you going to celebrate this race win?
Again, probably with a shower and some mead, because again, I am very sweaty. I'm so happy to walk away from Darlington with a win. Like, to be able to win at Atlanta, the Glen, and Darlington in the same season is really cool. Those are some really iconic tracks.
It is, and I think that's something you're going to want to make sure you put on your resume now for racing here, as it's been pretty competitive, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations once again on the race win. Is there anything you want to say to our audience before I let you go?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it really means a lot, everybody coming out and watching, and just watching the league. It's a great league as well. It's so much fun. But I want to thank my wife, my parents, my grandparents, because I know they're watching, or Nan and Poppy, they're watching, and the rest of my family as well. Still want to thank Victos and the NASCAR Geek and EG, and I really want to thank Wes for this Bobby Allison throwback. It's kind of special to be able to win in a Bobby Allison throwback.
Yes, it definitely would be.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time, Brian. I appreciate it, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that was the number 81 of Brian Fradian, who took away an amazing race victory. I can't be happier with that kind of product of racing. I mean, everyone did a great job, and just, it's great. I mean, what a run for the finish we saw between Greg, Jeff, Paul, and Brian. I mean, what a finish, really. So with that, we're going to go ahead and run through your post-race results here. I want to go ahead and take a look at that, because I am fascinated to see what it's going to look like. So you just got to get it working first. My apologies. Okay, looks like we're having a little bit of a trouble there with our first row. That's fine. However, your top five, I think you all saw them. That is going to be Fradian, Paul, Snellgrove, Belk, and Hunter Peach. Hunter ran a great race. It's unfortunate that he got caught up towards the end, but it happens. Look a bit further down, though. We go ahead and take a look and see that in 6th place, that's Brandon Fiedler. Behind him is going to be Michael Jennings. 8th goes to the 85 of Matthew Molavano. 9th goes to Tyler Hallahan. 10th is going to go to Marc LaPierre. 11th goes to Sylvan Seguin. 12th is going to go to Brady Floyd. 13th, Patrick Lucio, and the 2 did not starts. That is going to be Stephen Black and Marshall Harris. I mean, what a race we saw, really. I just have so little to say about it at this point. It was just so good to see everybody run a fantastic job, and it's great to see. So thank you once again to the Sports Fanatics podcast for allowing us to run a fantastic race here tonight. Thank you to Pierce Graphics for giving us some amazing looking overlays. I mean, come on, it's special. You got to have something very special for your throwback weekend. And happy Father's Day to everyone out there tonight. So with that, I've been Noah Walter here on twitch.tv/4cloak. You've seen me. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I've been wrong in the previous streams. I thought that tonight was the off week. It's not. It's next week. So I will see you all then in 2 weeks' time. And until then, I'll see you later.